As most people realize, I'm in disfavor, and my health is only fair at best, lower end of fair. With Parkinson's, I mean, when I strain my voice, my arms begin to tremble. Now my voice feels very weak. I've been reading about what to expect from Parkinson's. I still am not on medicine. I still don't have a caregiver. If you look behind me on the wall, you can see my picture of Seriously Kennedy. Below that's a foggy picture, a smoky picture, I guess, of, it looks like New York City, taken by my grandfather. There's a drawing of a woman as Atlas up on the wall behind me. I was watching this video called Ethel, which shows the remarkable Kennedys in action. Growing up, having fun, getting married, engaging in difficult politics. And what I get from it is American elegance. You know, the people who knocked me down used to quip about not knowing my betters. You know, it's not a Kennedy thing to do, but I do know my betters. It wasn't the people who knocked me down. When you read my book, you come across some Kennedy issues. The other night I was really furious at Robert because he was with Eric Clapton and Mackenzie was being abandoned. The way I don't like the Beatles sort of enmeshes with a sinister phobia I have of Jacqueline Kennedy and the Onassis branch that leads to Monica and Ringo Starr. The generation that did drugs and everything, you know, can continue to work and lead based on their knowledge if they have stopped. But I don't condone normalizing nerve agents. The University of Pittsburgh does not call it mind control. They don't have a department of mind control. They have a department of neurobehavioral research. That's what they did to Mackenzie, Shirley. They used neurobehavioral research on her. The key concept of the dereliction in the Songsville Declaration of her guilt was that the car she was driving morphs into hell on wheels. The people who designed the nerve agent and put her through an extreme situation are in neurobehavioral research. They index the chemical formula that they illustrate in their own writing to Burstyn, which means personality change or enemy within, because it's an index from Linda Burstyn, which is what Edna Rigoli changed her name to when she made The Exorcist. You would have to understand the complexity of the Ivy League. I think that's a concept that I've wanted to bring up that I haven't had a particularly good opportunity to. The Kennedys were legendary. Harvard family. And they give Harvard a good name. They're good at football and sports. at fellowship, at solving hard problems by addressing them rather than trying to avert their eyes. They had language skills and knowledge, depth of learning based on an understanding of the relationship between learning and reality. They were realists. They were also idealists. I think that's why some of the royalists envied and hated them, because they had unimpeachable American elegance, which is a little different from the refinement of the mannered overseas in terms of its legendary mystique. And so they were effective of American confidence. Now, for whatever reason, Carrie is schmoozing with Alex Baldwin, who shot a Ukrainian girl and says B is for Banderas and Burstyn. It leaves me uneasy, but it doesn't make me want to dissociate from the family name. When I was furious at Robert Kennedy, it was because I do want to dissociate from the Beatles. I don't like what they've done to me, and their abandonment of people like Mackenzie Shirella is an evasion tactic of people who don't want any kind of responsibility for the mayhem that they participated in, and which enslaved me. I don't think that Mackenzie Shirella should be seen through the eyes of that phobia brought on American politics by the spearhead of McCartney's self-defense. She's a treasured, unique young girl who as a child was subject to a Holocaust experiment in extreme situations. Someone who tried to change your personality from within would lead you to such trauma and fear that the escape behaviors I believe she probably exhibited were in self-defense. I completely abhor the abandonment of her by her peers. I do not believe the people in the car did not know about the psilocybin. I do not believe that she doesn't have peers who saw them together and knew that they knew about the drugs. I do not believe that two men in those circumstances, that much older than her being a minor, and her brain experimented on by experts from the Holocaust survivor community who formulated a chemical with such exactitude that induced a phenomenon of near-death extreme experience, extreme situations based on Holocaust survivors. Shirella looks, when you put them together, a great deal like Shaviti. Wattenmaker was an Attica State Prison psychiatrist who is known to have manufactured the drug by the writings of his own associate. Mackenzie was lacing LSD and doing brain surgery and brain research with Wattenmaker at the University of Pittsburgh for whatever reason, they brought in an Ohio State trooper named Child when I first started talking to Pitt administration about what was done to me as a child. Mackenzie and Child, when you put them together, are highly suggestive of a hybrid warfare crime. Highly suggestive. In fact, I want to draw your attention to one of the images that came out on TikTok that seems to have a slice to Mackenzie Shrilla's head. If this is really going on, which it is, it's a basis for a lawsuit. Ian Wattenmaker went into brain surgery. They need to find a judge who is competent with understanding evidentiary material regarding cold-hearted cruelty by chemical hybrid crime, which is what is at work. What I find difficult to accept about the evasion, it's really very simple. Mackenzie is grieving. She would be as hard to convince as the other victims' families that she is not responsible for the crime. She doesn't know that she wasn't responsible for the crime. She doesn't understand the exactitude of the formula that was used to poach her sensibilities and grab control of the wheel. The people who manufactured that nerve agent grabbed control of the wheel, and it was something that they considered splendid when the crash took place. They are the perpetrators. They had the situation surrounded, and they have taken Mackenzie Shrilla hostage. Attilas from Attica Prison Psychiatry are behind this moral outrage and fabrication of guilt against a poor child who was manipulated by people into near death after they subjected her to something that was nearly, it can only be considered attempted murder, but just shy of attempted murder. And when you compare the nerve agent that they gave to me with the nerve agent they gave to her, you see that they were convinced that it would work because they had done it before. This was a practiced art of hypnotic mind control. They overthrew her sensibilities by chemical hybrid crime. She is not the person who committed this crime.